skin. You love it.
Yeah, so stay away from soup is Reese's tip. Boiling that soup.
You can always find an excuse, but it now amazes me that people don't want to put their body and themselves first. And I don't think I've ever done a programme where I have genuinely seen change in my body that I just never wanted to get.
If you want to do it, like you say, just do it. No Nike sponsors. Yes, people, so today we have Lucy giving us a bit of a story about her journey at MC Conditioning. So I just want to give you a little bit of an insight, what it's like to be a part of the team, what her journey's been like, and it's been quite a journey up and down. Some great results that she's got, which we'll show as well. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see from your side of it what your experience has been like. So if you just tell people a little bit about where you was before the programme, for Rewind to probably November last year now. So
yeah. So obviously off the back of sort of COVID and lockdown, like many people, I was just sort of stuck in a rut really with sort of my gym generally and sort of my health and fitness. I've always been into it, you know, on the whole, but I just sort of got stuck in a rut. And I had a friend's wedding coming up in Christmas as well. I was going to be bridesmaid, so I was quite conscious of sort of how I was feeling and looking, and I guess it was just panic stations, to be honest. Ahead of that, I'm just thinking, right, I need something to get sort of motivated again and get back into it full on. So yeah, probably looking for a quick fix, but not really understanding what was then going to sort of happen after that and the journey that was ahead.
Yeah. And if you go back to like then, November, what kind of feelings were you having when you was in that rut?
Yeah, I just felt a bit sluggish, didn't really like the way I looked in photos, I just didn't feel sort of my best, and sort of, you know, it does have an impact on you mentally as well, and sort of just overall how you're feeling and just how about you go about your day.
Yeah.
You know, I think everybody had just stopped moving quite a lot, you know, and that ultimately is going to have an impact, and yeah, I just needed to sort of take control back again, really.
It's interesting you touched on like the mental side as well, because that's sometimes what people don't come to someone like me for. They come to me to look good. So what do you feel like, what kind of, from the mental side, what kind of changes was you having then? So where was you then, and what kind of improvements do you feel like you made?
So I think one of the good things about the programme is you've sort of got us to think about sort of just daily habits and little things that we were doing that actually is going to help you, your mental side, which then also helps you physically as well. Whether it's your sleeping habits, what you do first thing when you wake up, you know, just generally how you go about your day. Obviously food is just such an important factor in that as well. So you put it all together, and yeah, it just overall you're just sort of feeling much better. You just feel more in control of how you're feeling and how you're going to approach different things. Still have your bad days, but those bad days, you know how to sort of get back on track and you know what you need to do.
Yeah, 100%. So in terms of where you was back then, what was it that actually made you make that jump and actually invest in the first place? Like what was your main reason why you actually invested?
As I say, I've always been into sort of health and fitness. I've always been conscious of it. You know, I've always been a member of a gym. Whether I've tried different things, lots of different PTs, and you know, all the latest fads that sort of go on at times. But I just sort of was just going through the motions, and it just wasn't really. I just wasn't seeing any sort of results. But yeah, obviously having something like my friend's wedding where I knew I was going to be sort of, you know, part of the wedding party, so people looking at you, it does sort of give you that additional, right, I actually really just want to fit my best for this and look the best for my friend as well. So yeah, that certainly was a factor in it.
Yeah, you want to look back on those memories with some kind of positive feeling rather than looking at the photos.
Oh, don't want to see those. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So obviously before you made the decision to commit, what kind of, so there might be some people in your position back then, maybe having some doubts or concerns. What kind of doubts or concerns were you having before you actually invested in Bit Bullet?
Well, obviously it was sort of coming to a brand new gym, you know, a slightly different program. Some of it looked hard work, so yeah, there's always the oh gosh, how are we going to have to cope with sort of the different style of training. It was intense because obviously it was an intense 4-week program, so it was paid basically at the gym every day, certain times. But yeah, all that sort of went away very quickly once we started to get into it. Loved the routine and consistency. It just really sort of helped keep you on track. So it was a good thing. Yeah, you had to adjust, but it was a positive thing. And yeah, I really enjoyed that part of it.
Yeah, so that would take you, so from the Blitz, that would have taken you up until Christmas. What kind of progression did you see, let's just say, in that first short period? And then if you go into like after Christmas, let's just kind of describe what your journey was like across them as well.
Yeah, so obviously the Blitz was great. In 4 weeks, I definitely, lost weight and it was noticeable, so I was feeling, the best I could. I think I had to take my bridesmaid dress in, which was great. Nice problem to have. So yeah, I was just feeling really good about the wedding. I just felt good as well mentally. I felt sort of in control. I felt healthy. So that was it was nice to go to the wedding feeling like that, and being able to sort of enjoy the day with my friend and everybody. So obviously it was a sort of a nice thing to have at the end of those 4 weeks. It was like, I could enjoy the day. I worked hard, felt like I deserved it. And then obviously had Christmas off, and still sort of tried to follow sort of what we'd been doing a bit. Obviously, not coming to the gym every day is obviously going to have its impact. But I was amazed at how actually just in those couple of weeks, and not thinking I was actually drinking or eating loads, but how quickly just a bit of the weight started to go back on. Because then obviously I came back in the January to do the full 3 months shred program. And yeah, the minute I got on those scales and the minute you sort of did the measurements, I was like, right, back to it. Because I'd seen the results before and I was frustrated that I'd sort of, just over that sort of short period of time, had gone back on. So that motivated me even more to be like, right, let's go.
Yeah, I think it's important that, like we see it as a quick fix at first, but essentially, if you don't continue and make it a lifestyle change, and you're going to be up and down all the way through. So sometimes it's good to have that little break you had over Christmas. That could be a positive thing, because then you realise actually this is something that needs to be doing consistently.
Yeah, definitely.
And then throughout the next, that was 3 months later, so April then. You had a little break,
Yeah, so the next target was a holiday in May, which again was another really good sort of goal to have in mind of sort of where I wanted to get to. We also sort of tried the keto diet, having done just low carb before, which worked really well for me. Loved it, and that's really sort of how I eat now. I think it's how I'll probably eat going forward, full stop, most of the time. The realisation that you don't need carbs in your life, and you can live without them. But that was definitely eye-opening, just sort of how you approach nutrition. Everybody's different, so it's finding what works for you. Some people are better on low carb as opposed to keto, but that experience was really interesting as well. I definitely started to see the results once we looked at that.
I think it is interesting just to change your relationship with carbs. You don't necessarily have to give it up, but just to see it as, I don't need to fuel myself off carbs all the time. So for you now, it's something that's second nature to you, which is great. We kind of went on into, we had a little break off, and then we kind of continued again. What kind of made you continue after that?
After the break, after the 3 months? So I think again, Well, obviously, I'd carried on here because I'd got into my boxing with yourself as part of the package, having a sort of one-to-one boxing, which I just loved, and so I was really keen to carry on doing that. And then sort of another holiday coming up, and I think just doing your sort of blitz sessions, it just gives you that checkpoint. So you have another blitz coming up, so it's like, right, okay, yeah, let's do another 4 weeks. Let's just sort of regroup, just sort of take stock again, and just do another sort of blitz, just to sort of see where I am. So that was that. That took me up to August, and then I was sort of looking for a new challenge. And so you talked to me about doing your fight camp, which was with the aim of sort of doing a fight in November at the end of the 12 weeks.
Yes.
So that was sort of the next part of the journey for me, and I'm loving it. So yeah.
But now's the time to show that.
A few injuries, but all good.
Yeah, so stay away from soup is Lisa's tip. Boiling that soup. But if you kind of think again back to where you were in November, would you have ever imagined yourself training in a fight camp 4 weeks, 5 weeks away from stepping into the ring?
Yeah, it's bonkers. And I think that's what I've loved about sort of doing the programme. It's just opened up other opportunities. Sort of coming here, meeting the people I'm meeting, everybody's so upbeat and friendly, and everybody's sort of rooting for each other. I know other people on the programme are kickboxing, and they're sort of going through their sort of
belts,
their belts as well, which is amazing. So yeah, it's just, I love the fact that it's just opened up another opportunity, and it's given me another goal, something else to focus on, which is what I love, is having that sort of end goal of achieving something.
It's the key of longevity, having goals. You've always got something to work towards next. Obviously, you've got to appreciate how far you've come. A little bit like when we did Snowdon, didn't we?
Yeah.
And when you climb up that mountain, yes, you've got a long way to go, but every now and again you've got to take a look around, look back at the view, how far you've came. So your journey at the moment, you're still going up this mountain, and these little checkpoints that you're starting off of, the blitz, the shred, you had a little break, came back, blitz again, and now the next challenge. So you just got to keep appreciating where you are, and then keep going, keep progressing. So what would you say are the biggest lessons that you've learned over this past year, let's say?
Oh my gosh, so many things. So I think the thing I always bang on about is just consistency. You've got to be consistent. That's with food, with training, just with your daily habits. We all have our off days. We all want those treat days, and that's fine, because that's what life's about. But if you can be consistent 90% of the time, you can enjoy those moments and not feel guilty, and not sort of throw yourself too much off track. And that for me is just how that's how I operate now. It's just, I like consistency, I like the routine, and that's where you see results. But you've got to put the work in, but it absolutely pays off. And I don't think I've ever done a programme where I have genuinely seen changes in my body that I just never thought I'd be able to get at this, the age that I am. I'm not old, but your metabolism starts to slow down, all that stuff. But and people saying to me, and actually coming up and saying, oh my gosh, look at you, your waist has disappeared, or your definition in your back, your arms look different. And it's obviously, I'm not doing it for the people, I'm doing it for me, but it's so good to actually know that yes, if they're noticing, then I know it's definitely having the right impact.
Because before you discovered us, how long was it since you was happy with what you saw either in the mirror or trying on clothes?
Oh, it'd been a while. As you're getting older, things start to naturally happen. Your body changes, and you might think in your head that it's all okay. But it's when you see those photos and you're like, actually, need to do something about that.
And this is sometimes, because some people might be in your position where again, it might have been a while for them, and maybe get to a point where it's easy to get caught up in, I'm getting too old for this. So
Yeah.
you just submit to where you are now.
You can always find an excuse, but it now amazes me that people don't want to put their body and themselves first and invest. You know, you only got one body. You've got to look after it. And you might think you're doing okay, or it's alright, but if you're not eating right, if you're not doing the right sort of exercise, it will catch up with you. It will, you might be alright now, but give it 10, 15 years, it will definitely catch up with you. So, if you're going to invest in anything, just invest in yourself first and foremost.
Yeah, 100%. And I always ask the question, well, if I ask you a question, rewind to before you started, when you're looking in the mirror, it's not always about appearance, but how happy was you then, like at 10, in terms of how you looked and compared to now?
Probably 5 or 6.
6 back then?
Yeah. Now I'm 9 most days.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm really happy. And as I say, I'm happy for me as well. It's not about other people, it's about yourself. But yeah, I feel really good, and that obviously then, emits to the people around me and just how I approach things. If you're happy, then generally everything sort of falls into place.
Yeah. Happy doesn't need to be supermodel like looking like. Yes, with something like completely unrealistic. Happy to just be you looking and be like, yeah, you know what, I'm happy with how I look, happy with how the clothes are fitting, and happy with just progressions. And that's what we say. If progression is what makes you rich, but not the possessions that you have. So each little progression can just go a mile away. So who would you recommend this program for?
Anybody. Everyone. No, as I say, I think if you go to the gym, you're just sort of plodding along and you're not really seeing any changes, I'd definitely say come and do this program. If you just did the 4-week program just to get a taster, I guarantee you'll see results, and you'll get hooked. You will get hooked because you're just feeling the way you feel. It gets addictive, because then when you do slip back into old habits, you'll just feel even worse, and it's just I guarantee you won't ever regret coming to do this program. It's only a good thing.
Yeah. Good stuff. Look, it's people. Sometimes people need to hear obviously your story as well, because a lot of times people idolise not just celebrities but people also keep doing well and think, oh, I could never do that. Maybe they've got more time than me. Maybe they've just genetically better than me. Maybe they're stronger minded than me. But realistically, it's just learning to do little things, accepting. It will take a little bit of hard work, and also just enjoying the process and doing that consistently ends in good long-term results.
You've got this mixture of people on the program. Everybody got people with kids, people with really stressful jobs, and it's for everyone. You work with all your clients to understand what's their routine, how can we fit it in around that, and how we're going to get the best out of everybody. So it is for everybody. You find a way to work with your clients that sort of suits them and how they can actually. It's going to be a really realistic goal for them to achieve what they want to achieve. So absolutely, you shouldn't sort of think that, oh, I haven't got the time to do that, or it's not for me. It's, as I say, it's your body. You've got to look after it. So start putting yourself first, and you'll definitely see results.
There you go, from the horse's mouth itself.
Boom.
Finally,
yeah.
What would be your best piece of advice to someone who currently might be unsure, maybe having their doubts, concerns about whether to take that leap? What would be your best piece of advice for them?
Do it. Just send a message. Get in touch. Honestly, as I say, you won't regret it. If you're thinking about it, it's obviously on your mind. Just do it. You won't ever regret looking after yourself. It's simple. So and you will be and you'll be better for the people around you as well, which is really important as well. So just do it.
I think that goes for anything you're doing, business-wise, relationships, fitness, whatever it is you're pondering on and you know deep down you want to do it. Just do it. I'm not saying do it with me. Do it with reach out to whoever it is. Make that first step, that progression, no matter how small that step is. If it's just a Google something or send a message, at least you're taking that first step.
Definitely.
Wicked. Well, thank you for joining. I'll share your results as well in terms of what we've done, and hopefully, like in 5 weeks' time, 6 weeks' time, you'll be getting your hand raised as well, without the bandage. But it's been a great journey so far, and you've gone through the fat loss stage, then into shaping your body, and then now into performance stage. It just shows that especially as a woman, that there's no limits to what you can do. You're a real kind of inspiration to other women out there that you don't have to limit yourself to just the restraints of what society says you can do.
Definitely.
If you want to do it, as you say, just do it.
Just do it.
No Nike sponsors. Cheers for that, Lucy.
No worries. Cheers, Mitch.
I'll do it.
Probably really hard, like.